And I feel like that as I said to you before, that your sensitivity plus the force of your invective is part of your it seems to me as an outsider and as a fan, like part of your essential quality, and that's a sort of an expression of who you authentically actually are. And I feel that all of us have to find that, whether we're creative people or whether we ain't, to occupy our family lives, to occupy our professional lives. And I feel that if we don't find that, if we don't find some point of access, we live in various forms of frustration, various forms of self-destruction.
A turning point for me was I had to realize that I was hurting people, and then I had to figure out how I was hurting people. Because there's a lot of stuff that I say in my past specials that I go back and I just look at that and I just go, you didn't believe that. This is like some of the shit that I said about women, that was me. I was the complete opposite. I was a romantic. I wanted to be married. I wanted a family. And I just through like just stuff that happened to me, failures and all of that. It's that weird thing where you're pushing away what you actually want for something, like whatever that defect in the human brain is. That's what I was doing. So, you know, and that goes back to people judging you as a comedian. It's just like, you know, it's very easy to watch that at face value and be like, oh, this guy, misogynistic, hates women, frat boy, blah, 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 blah. But it actually takes an effort to try and look, you know, I mean, that's how I'm watching some of this Trump shit where you're just seeing like, he'll say something and you like, in order to keep my sanity, I got to picture the kid that didn't get the hug, the kid that was driven into business because his dad was good at it. And it's just like, did he want to do something else? Is his whole life an outer body experience? Or is he really this way? And dude, it's like messing with my whole... I had this big discussion with my wife last night talking about the irresponsibility of religion with a higher power. Where they go like, oh, people have freedom of choice. So it's just like, so when a serial killer is born, that's not on God at all. Like, whoa, leaned a little too far this way on that. Like, that's not on him at all. He gets to walk away from all of that. And if you watch, like, all of these nature videos and just how the whole thing is set up that, you know, the big eat the little and how there's certain animals that their only way of survival, like rabbits, no fucking defense whatsoever. Their only defense that they get is that they can fuck so much and have so many of them that you can't wipe them out. But the second you're a rabbit, you know, I'm going to get killed by a snake, eaten by a coyote, ripped apart by wild dogs. That is their fucking existence, and they don't hurt anybody.
Their sex must be so frantic and anxious and fueled by, I'm finished, the snake's going to come any moment.
I know,
I've got to
looking over your shoulder as you bang.
There's some people that like that kind of thing.
And it's just like, and in those behaviors, I see human behavior and what the hell we do to each other. And, you know, if you watch this stuff on some serial killers, you hear about their childhood. And then there's a point where you want to rescue them before they become the adult monster. And and then I just sit there and go like, so this dude was beaten every day. He was molested. He was locked in a closet and all that. As a child, you go and rescue him. Then he goes out in the world and does what he does, what his parents taught him. And then they sort of divorce his childhood and then just go, this person is you're just supposed to be, that person's a monster, evil incarnate. He chose to be evil and blah, 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 blah. And then there's also that weird dichotomy where then it's like, well, now you're an adult and you know what being hurt is. You shouldn't be doing that. So you got to hold them responsible. Like, I can't even like wrap my head around like that type of stuff. Did my audio just drop out on this thing?
No, you're here. I'm listening. I'm hearing every word.
I got it.
There's an very brilliant English comedian called Simon Munnery who had a very good joke on that. He said like 90% of people that are sexually assaulted as a child will grow up to become sexual offenders. The solution is obvious: incarcerate the victims. And I feel though that when sort of coming down with that to the serial killer thing, the fact that we find it abhorrent is evidence of a kind of that there is a certainty to morality in a universe where there is no, I'm not saying God, but no conceptualization of good. Why not be a serial killer? I'm not saying morality is impossible without God. I'm saying that our awareness of goodness suggests that we have some intuitive understanding of goodness. In the natural world, I think it becomes different when you regard them as interconnected ecosystems rather than individuals, and that's something that comes up in what you said about the biography of a serial killer. How is the individual even responsible at all? If that individual is the recipient of all this negativity, then they go on. It's almost like it's only the fact that we see ourselves as enshrined by a bag of skin rather than as interconnected beings that makes culpability possible at all. I'm not saying people aren't responsible for their negative actions or for their crimes, or there shouldn't be consequences for bad actions. I'm saying in looking for a solution, it's pretty evident that if you grow up in a community or environment that has lots of negativity in it, you are likely to go out and enact that negativity elsewhere. So, like, in order to look for a solution, I think whether that's on an individual or a cultural level, that we have to, I feel personally, drop below my own. When you said that thing before about all of the hatred and the anger and the rage, I feel, and like suicide, in fact, you know, I feel like we have to learn to drop below what we can, as we do in meditation, drop below the thing that you consider to be the self, this matrix of thoughts and ideas, which isn't really the self at all, according to a lot of meditative philosophy, but rather a kind of neurological static that's just taking place. And if you can learn to observe it and let it pass, you don't have to engage in the kind of actions of it. So, like, I don't think of a serial killer as a...
I like work because I engage in the static.
Well, yeah,
and the audio did drop out, but I got 50 minutes of this stuff, so we can just use the audio for this right here off the computer, if that's all right.
Yeah, because I was just unraveling you was trying to say there is no God. I was trying to say there is a God. We were at an important junction.
He has to be he or she, it, they, whatever, has to be responsible for creating, the flawed human being.
Yeah.
Here's my deal. My deal is 35. Okay? By the time you're 35 years of age, you have to be looking at yourself as a flawed person, and you need to start trying, to undo what it is that you're doing. So my deal with the serial killer is, I'll give you all those people you killed up till 35. 35, you got to be sitting there going, wait a minute. I'm repeating what has been happening to me or whatever. Obviously, serial killer is an extreme example. Or maybe I'm superimposing. Maybe 35 is too old. It's just because 35 is where I started to get it. That things you're saying, things that you're doing, the way you're behaving is not good, and you're hurting people, and you need to work on this. And you're recreating what you hated in your childhood, what you didn't want, this intense, angry environment. I mean, it took me till I was like 30 to even realize I was angry. That's how not in touch with whatever the hell I was doing was, was I don't know, was rolling around in my head or whatever. So.
That's for, yeah, of course. You're just
sort of pay you for a therapy session on this one.
No way. It's amazing to talk to you. Although I was just about to... I'm a person who digs like Jungian therapy and all that stuff around mythology, and I was thinking about now that you are freed from the tyranny of poverty, and from the tyranny of being people that you are not, the hobbies that you found are like drumming, like with all of its percussion and rhythm and the basic sort of rhythms of life, and flying helicopters and the transcendent and the escaped. I can see the appetites that are in you that are reaching out into expression, as well as the brilliance of your art form.